ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talk Scottish Football episode number 62, and technically speaking, this is the last one of the season.
No, it's not.
Well, technically it is. The Premiership season is over.
Again, we're talking about the Premiership.
Kelly, but you know what I mean. Technically we're there. Technically 21-22 is over.
No, it's not.
Sorry, 2021.
For the Premiership it is, aye. Still got a cup final, still got playoff finals. Loads to happen, yeah.
Right, league season. You want me to say league season then? The Premiership league season.
He said before we came on air he likes to be factually correct. A minute in and he's already miles off the mark with that.
Oh, well, you know what, I was just thinking about
yes, the Premiership season is almost done and Hamilton are relegated, boys.
Well, they are.
9-0 they need to beat Kilmarnock.
Actually, I feel kind of bad in a sense because I was reading earlier on, before we came on the air, I was doing a bit of reading and such, and you know, looking at all the things that Hamilton do in the community, and they're actually a nice wee club and all the rest of it, and yet for years we've all been championing them for relegation. We've all wanted to see them go down.
I've warmed to them the past couple of years.
We've all let out a massive roar as they went down on social media. It is kind of a shame, but look, they're a strong enough club to go down to the Championship and try and fight their way back up. They've done it before. They're a good team.
Yes.
And Brian Rice is a good coach. So, you know what, we'll wait and see what happens, but they are down, and we've got a lot to cover alongside that in today's episode as we approach the final weekend of the Premiership season. And there you go.
Every time.
As
soon as they start recording.
This is the 2 minutes in as well. You know, Christ almighty, they couldn't even use 10. We've got a lot to fit in. We've got a lot to fit in because we've got midweek Premier League games to kind of skim over. We've got the weekend Premiership games to go over.
Championship playoff
to fly over.
Bingo card.
We've got a quiz that Div has prepared for me and you. We've got Twitter questions.
Yes.
We've got everything to cover. So let's just jump right into it, and we'll start off with the midweek games. As you've already mentioned, Hamilton are down, Ross County 2, Hamilton 1. Yogi Hughes, his bidding has been done. They will be staying up this season.
I didn't think Accies deserved to lose the game, if I'm honest, from what I saw.
Well, actually, they're not guaranteed to stay up Ross County, I suppose.
No, but I mean, Accies are definitely down. I watched the highlights back. I listened to a wee bit of it on the radio as I don't know what I was doing, but yeah, I don't think they deserved to get beat. I mean, actually, that's a stupid thing to say. Of course, if you don't take your chances, you do. But the performance, you know, no one would have argued that they won that game. But again, that's 7 years in the top flight for Hamilton Accies is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And considering that before that it was just a year out before they'd been up for 5 years before that, I think. So amazing. Yeah, Yogi, he got the job done. He'll breathe a big sigh of relief because I think a lot of people were really worried about them. I certainly was, but you know, now a shootout with them and Kelly is going to be really interesting.
Are you confident that County have the momentum now from that win to maybe carry them over the line?
No, because I just don't know what's going to happen. Look at Kelly, the result as well. So you know, the weekend's going to be really interesting. How Hamilton playing Kelly affects what happens with Aki's already be down, I don't know, but I'm quite sad to see Aki's go, I have to be honest.
Really?
Aye.
Yeah. Really? He's really that? I
think, see, out of all the seasons, this is probably one of the seasons I thought that they could stay up with some of their results. I know the start of the season was really bad, but people have went on record and saying Rice changed it up and he went back to the basics. He started playing O'Doffin in the midfield and such. He done that last year with Big Gogic. He put him back to centre half in that and went back to the basics, and they started to pick up results. Ocampo up front with Bruce Anderson.
They have been humped with injuries.
And then injuries just came at the wrong time, man, because for a period of time they looked like I thought they could stay up.
I don't think there's a team in Scotland that have had worse injuries than them this season.
Hamilton?
Yeah, I can't think of a team that's had worse
I
injuries.
mean, the amount of young players are playing.
No, not
Rangers
even.
are an awful
Temple
bad
in
bit
long
when
term.
you're talking about the quality that's coming into the place.
I mean,
They're having to go straight to the youth academy, and they've got a really good youth academy, to be fair to them, but
yeah, I must admit, I'm not sad to see them go. I must admit, there's no point in me acting all contradictory.
I don't give a shit. I feel a bit bad for them, but I mean, I don't personally care.
This is what I've been waiting for years. I've predicted year after year after year that Hamilton will go down, and they've managed to defy all expectations.
I did predict them to go down this season, I think.
So did I.
Yeah, I think.
I had we almost had them in 12.
You went county.
Yeah, I went county in 12.
Did you?
Do you not go county as well?
I go county.
Because I backed county as well.
Oh, aye, because I'll always stick by Hamilton actually.
I got it right.
I had them in 10. No, but
I county in 11th. This could come true. Oh, by the way.
I don't think it will, man.
Oh,
I think Kelly are still going down, boys.
Well, let's talk about Killington. What a game that was, by the way, at Rugby Park. 3-all.
Lafferty, man.
I mean, your man, Cammy McPherson.
I know.
What a finish.
At least he knows his name this time.
Exactly. No, come on. Just cut me some slack. At least I identified him. He was talking about
Gary
McAllister.
McAllister.
That was good, wasn't it?
Aye, it was
alright. Mate, his goal was superb. Like, the fact Kelly go ahead and then it tells you a lot about their season, to be fair, that they managed to mess it up in the end. And if Hamilton got something out of the game against County, it could have been all to play for still in the last game. But Aye, they've done enough now. I think that's some 3 points clear. They need to get beat 9-0. But again, they still need to go to Hamilton in the last game of the season and win, don't they? Because they don't want to finish 11th. Because we're playing against Dundee, and Dundee are flying at the moment. Well, sorry, Rafe, but I'm counting you out. It's 3-0, boys.
Face. Look at me, so
it's 3-0. I think Dundee versus Kilmarnock Ross County is nailed on now, to be fair.
Aye.
But for the longest time as well, I was saying whoever finishes second bottom in the Prem, I think will stay up.
Yeah, I thought that
But
too.
just see the way Dundee are now playing, they've just kind of come into form at the right time. Charlie, I know we'll get on it, but Charlie.
Let's in terms of Kilmarnock, you've got to talk about one man in the big who could be the difference maker at the weekend. It's Kyle Lafferty's back in the goals. He got 2 on Wednesday night. He could be single-handedly the guy who keeps Kilmarnock.
Well, if they do stay up, it is down to him, 100%.
100%, and they'll do everything to try and keep him in the summer, and I don't think they will. I think he go back to Hearts, boys.
I think he could get a better move, even like a move abroad somewhere.
But he's done that numerous times, hasn't he?
I know
it's all about
we are
money,
approaching the end of his career now, though.
Yeah.
Like, where was it he was at? Played with Dybala. Played with Dybala. Was it Torino or something like that? No, it was someone like that.
Sealand, was it? Or something?
I don't know, he ended up playing in like Cyprus or something.
Don't know,
He's
he
played
definitely played with Paulo Dybala at a club.
India and all that.
I can't remember who it was.
He's played everywhere.
Now, if you look at the last 5 years of his career abroad, he's played for Regina in Italy. He's played for Sarpsborg. He's played for Kaikur Rizespor. He's played for Palermo. He's played for
Palermo.
He's played for all these teams abroad.
Sunderland last year,
it's not out the realm of possibility.
But see, when you look at where he's had his best form in his career, it's been in the Scottish Premier League.
It's been with Hearts. It's been with Kilmarnock. It's been with.
He was decent. He was decent with Rangers in the running, but I think his best seasons were under Hearts. He was scoring goals at will, and he was scoring them in big games as well. And the way he's came back at
always
Kelly
loved against Celtic.
He loved a goal against Celtic, man. And the way he's came back at Kelly, he's been flying.
Yeah,
so he has.
He can get a bigger club in Scotland as well, though. Like a
Hearts.
Yeah.
He was at Sunderland before that. Like, it's who can afford these wages because he'll be on a healthy packet. So that's why I'm thinking he might go to Hearts, but he'll have offers for sure in the summer.
So Kilmarnock played Ross County in the last game of the season, didn't they?
No.
I
like to be factually correct. They play Hamilton.
Kelly Hamilton.
Sorry. But Hamilton playing Kelly. I mean, Kyle Lafferty, you'd fancy him for a hat-trick in that game.
I'm not sure. I think Hamilton are a wounded animal. This is going to be interesting.
You don't think they're down and out?
No,
I don't expect Hamilton to do much. I expect Kelly to be fired.
Everything about Hamilton,
I'm on the opposite side.
Their absolute ethos as a club is they just fight until they can't anymore, and they will give everything for this final day. They've got a team. The effort they've put in all season long, it won't change. They don't have it in them.
I'm not disputing they won't have an effort in there or put in an effort. I just think Kilmarnock have got everything more to play for, and that'll kick them on a wee bit further. They've got players like Lafferty.
But we've seen that so many times.
Look at Lafferty, look at Buck, look at all these players who are all in it. But when it comes down to a situation like this, when they know they're fighting for survival, you know, you're not going to see the best out of players like Chris.
But they've been fighting for survival for months, and they're not that far out of Hamilton. I mean,
I know why.
And they've been playing teams who also have had nothing to play for. Like they played Dundee United and got smashed.
Said it in the last podcast though, if you give Lafferty chances, Kilmarnock have a good chance of winning the game, and I think that the same will happen with Hamilton. But I do think they'll be up for it. If you look at Brian Rice and all his interviews, he's almost adopted that mentality us against them. And he's tried to get his players up for it in that way.
And
I think they'll do the exact same.
Another thing that's worth mentioning on the Hamilton front is you've got players that are playing for contracts, playing for their futures. Not necessarily just at Hamilton, but Hamilton get relegated. There are a lot of players out of contract who will, they'll now be looking for new clubs and stuff. They need to, one impressive performance could make a world of difference. So I think I wouldn't count out Hamilton yet. I'm not saying that Hamilton are going to win the game, but I don't think it'll be anything easy for Kelly at all. I think it'll be a really tough 90 minutes for them.
It's a 6-0 Kelly now.
I know. Well, apart from that on Wednesday night, I'll just quickly fly over what happened for anybody listening that is interested. I don't think we need to really go over the rest of the games. Not much has changed. Hibs solidified their position as the best of the rest outside Celtic and Rangers. 1-0 win over Aberdeen. Livingston succumbed to a defeat against Rangers 3-0. Dundee United managed to pick up a point against Motherwell 2-2, and then Scott Brown's final game at Celtic Park ended with a 4-0 win. Emotional scenes, Div.
Oh, mate, never watched it.
Emotional scenes. Did you see the photos of him lying like Iniesta in the park?
I mean, they actually set up that fucking photo.
I know,
that's
the
the
Iniesta one
worst
was
thing I've ever seen. Oh my god.
Winds him right up, man. Christ,
I just thought it was horrific. Everyone's said the Iniesta photo as if like they staged this one though. That's horrific. What I did like though, what I will say, is I like the photo of him playing with his kids on the pitch full time. I like that. Thought that was nice.
So he's not allowed to sit down with his boots off.
No, not for a fucking photo shoot at full time. Fuck me. The other one, he was just enjoying the moment. That's the whole point of them photos.
Aye, that's what made something special.
That's what I'm saying. I like the one where he's playing football with his kids. That's a nice moment.
No, it hit hard, man. Just knowing that was it, the last dance.
Thank fuck, yeah.
Get
him out of the team now.
I know, but
They'll still start on Sunday.
Yeah, it's hard. Well, of course it'll start on Sunday, but Saturday. It's hard watching Scott Brown leave, after being everything that the club has been about for the last 10-15 years. He's led the team for as long as I can kind of remember. He's got to be, as Hugh Keevins has said, since Larsson, you're not going to find a harder player to replace than Scott Brown. He's just a one of a kind. For Celtic, of course. Since Larsson, he's one of those defining players.
I thought Sorrell's going to replace him.
Well, yeah.
When you're talking about a leader, is that what
you're
you're
talking
saying?
about a leader, and you're talking about everything else he brings to the team. There's no one in Scotland that's like Scott Brown. There's no one. He's a one-of-a-kind player.
Well, like he
That's
was
not.
2-3 years ago, maybe, but not now.
Well,
I get what you mean. In terms of on the park and the 11, he's not a difficult to replace. But in terms of what he brings to the squad, it's going to be impossible to replace.
Impossible to replace, of
Yeah,
course.
I'll give you that one.
But Celtic 4-0 against St Johnstone. A kind of disappointing performance.
Oh, we
for
talked about St Johnstone, by the way. They're in a bit of trouble.
That was a
Bobby's Lamau was in goals though, wasn't he?
a mess. But
They
well,
made
do you know what?
changes.
I'll bring up this point. A St Johnstone fan who watches my channel commented in the match preview, and he made an interesting point. He's like, see, to be honest, I hope you fucking batter us, because it'll kind of bring us back down to earth a wee bit, and it'll give us a bit of a lesson. So looking at it from a St Johnstone's fan's point of view, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world getting battered for Celtic on Wednesday.
Strange suggestion. There's nothing to suggest that they're on their high horse or anything. I don't understand that at all. They were knackered though. They had like 4 subs or something like that. I mean, they're going to have a tough weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if St Johnstone literally played just the kids and just kept all their players isolated, just a precaution, because the way it is just now, I think they all can be back for the cup final. I actually think a lot of them can be back for this weekend. Some of them were missed initially, but the way these COVID things work, it's an absolute nightmare. This time of the season, it couldn't happen to anything worse. But you would be devastated for them if they got into a position where they were missing Xander Clark. Who else was missing? Stevie May was missing. Ali McCann.
Players, it would be.
Massive players. Bobby's Lamau, he should be looking for a move.
He had a couple of howlers in that game today.
I know.
But he's still that is twice in this season that I've watched him against Celtic for St Mirren and for St Johnstone, and he's made some
many goals in the concede. I thought he was poor, man.
If we're talking about goals, I thought there was some saves. If it showed you the full package in the highlights, some of the saves he made, I was like,
some of the goals he conceded though. Fuck me. There's a reason that he only ever gets a game when teams have got COVID crises.
No, but if we're talking goalkeepers, clean sheet for Barkas.
Did he make a save?
Did he
He
start?
made a save.
He made a save!
He made a save.
It took him to the second last game of the season to make
He's
a
made
save.
saves before. Stop this propaganda.
It's not propaganda.
It is
Name me one
propaganda.
decent save he's made.
He made a save against Ross County earlier on in the season. It was a good save.
It was like the second game.
It was about the 4th game,
And
actually.
he was dropped 2 games later or something like that.
Aye,
Oh, well, let's move
a
on from this guy, man.
A clean
Jesus.
sheet for Barkas.
I've never, honestly, it baffles my mind how much Celtic fans love him when he's been one of the
Let's
worst.
talk about John McLaughlin. That's a proper keeper right there.
John
John McLaughlin, by the way, he's pushing for number
14
1
clean
in the
sheets.
Euros.
Number
How
1.
many clean sheets he got this season?
He's up there.
It's like 14 or something.
He started a lot at the start of the season. Al McGregor was coming in at the team. He had a few injuries. John McLaughlin was on fire.
Nah, but he's not quite Barkas.
Just to balance it,
barking us.
the one positive for Celtic you
nothing
can
like
take
him.
is Wee Dembele. What a player, by the way.
Well, let's move
New
on.
contract as
Let's
well.
move on to the weekend's games. Well, no, not a new contract.
1 year extension.
No, not a 1 year extension either. John Kennedy cleared up that he has no idea where the rumours came from. That he's
Oh, so he's out of contract still?
No, he's out of contract next year. He was never out of contract this
What about
summer.
the champions
John-
though? What about the champions? Let's talk about the
John
champions.
Kennedy, clarified
Dominating.
that it's not over.
Again.
Let's
Just 10 minutes on Celtic at home to bloody Livy.
Have you seen that?
A lot of
Have you
us
seen that?
slagging off Scott
You
Brown.
see what
Right,
Aberdeen wants a jet.
What?
Aberdeen are going to go for the jet.
Mate, the Jet's been on fire.
Aberdeen are going for him that he's in his contract.
It's an interesting move.
That is a
that.
weird one,
That's
but
I'm not sure I'm having that.
I know.
Aberdeen are looking at the jet, bring him in the summer.
Well, they have no strikers, so they
Yeah,
need
they'll
to
go
go.
for the Jet, man.
You can't argue with the depth though. He's been a solid player for
The
Livy.
Jet needs to stay at Livy.
Has to stay at Livy.
Just
Is he a Livy player?
Livy, he is a Livy.
Aye, no, but is he like a Livy? He's
scored
at his levels. He's just a Livy player. You don't see him going any higher than that, no.
Well,
Is Aberdeen going to be higher next year?
yeah.
Aye, of course.
A higher club and such, but I
Aye,
don't
no,
know. The
we
way that Livy play, I would say he's maybe a Livy player.
Aye, well, I mean,
They're so soft up
Well,
front,
Aberdeen have no
isn't they?
strikers. Come next season, they will have no strikers at the club. I think, bar the boy Ruth, who's really young. Bruce Anderson's even out of contract. So, and all the loanies will be leaving. They have no strikers. They need to bring in 4 strikers this summer. So, fine, get one in.
My God.
It's mental. I mean, unless they extend Anderson's contract, but I doubt that'll happen. Which surprises me because he's a good player. But
Yeah.
they have like no strikers, so they need to get somebody in.
well, J-Man Thomas seems to be the answer.
We tea cake as well.
But use 1-3-0 Wednesday night.
Yep.
Cruising.
One more game to go.
Were you through it, Livy, for that one?
What's that?
The way section
No,
hell?
mate, I never made it. I never made it through. But it looked good. The scenes look good. The fireworks and that we're getting set off.
Sounds
What
like
is that
fireworks
noise?
outside you.
That sounds like one of the wee toys that goes.
The wee moo thing.
Aye, Rangers were good. Rangers were really good. Joe Aribo played left back.
Oh, by the way.
I know.
What was the
can he
team
not
selection all about, man?
Well,
Like,
we've,
it worked,
we're
obviously.
plagued with injuries.
Aye, so
I
just-
don't know if you've noticed,
it
but
just-
we've
it
been
just
plagued with injuries and we
faff
have
to
been
do
for
that,
months.
and it worked. It worked.
Aye,
well.
yeah. Balogun's out, Hollander's out, our left backs are out. So Big Joe played at left back and he was just marauding. What a player, man. Honestly, he can play anywhere. You're talking about number 10, brought to the club as a number 10. He's been playing right wing all season, playing left back. Stick him in goals. One game, end of the season, just for a laugh.
He is very, very good, isn't he? And he's very
Very good.
adaptable. Rangers again were brilliant. I thought, from what I saw, Hadji had a decent game.
Yep.
And his numbers have actually been really good. I really look at his numbers. I've criticised them.
So I was
But-
thinking about this.
But then I think the criticism has been balanced in terms of, like, I think everyone kind of agrees that, listen, we know how good he is. He hasn't. I think there's more to come.
Yeah.
I think it's basically the thing with Hadji is there's more to come from him.
Good.
But in the meantime, I think he's done. He's had a better season this season than Kent did last season for me.
Aye, 100%.
So you look at it that way, I think there's definitely more to come. So
Right,
I know I was thinking about the whole Hadji thing, and I don't think I defended him enough when you were saying cash in on
I
him
still
now. Keep
stand-
him. He's got something, man. Left foot, right foot.
yeah.
He's
Left
got.
foot,
He just
right
needs to
foot,
adapt. He
devastating.
needs to adapt more to the Scottish game, and then if you look at his numbers, he's still causing it. He sometimes gets caught in the ball. Maybe he likes a wee bit more time.
I think his best position is more central though.
I like him in the 10.
Yeah,
I
but
do,
Rangers
man.
don't tend
I
to
know.
play with a 10. This is the
I
problem.
know. Exactly. So it is a hard one. It's where do you fit him in, but when he does get fit in, he seems to take his opportunity more often than not. To be
Right.
fair to him.
I'm getting cautious of time a little bit.
Hold on a minute.
We're 20 minutes into the show.
we
David.
spent about 15 of them on fucking Celtics and
know.
Johnson.
didn't we?
Settle
Bloody,
down.
we spent about 5 most. Go on, what you about to say? Go on.
You're not getting to say about Rangers, no?
No, I've got to say. I've said one more game to go.
Is that it? Let's get at maths.
One more game to go. I get to get. I mean, what are they? So they broke the clean sheets record.
That's another thing, aye.
They broke the
Unreal.
clean sheets record.
There's another thing about Gerrard that strikes me in the post-match interviews is, and I said it before the game, is that he's still demanding more, and that's so obvious with what he says.
That's
and I
it
think
now.
he'll go again.
It's about keeping the concentration now in the last game to try and get that. I was listening. Do you know what? I was actually a point I want to bring up. Actually, I was listening to Super Scoreboard last night, the way back 3.5s, and a Celtic fan phoned up. And he was having a fucking great about the whole invincible tag. He's like, surely if invincible implies that you can't be beaten domestically, they're not invincible. They're unbeaten in the league. It's not invincible. I think that it's a stupid debate. Look, the Arsenal team coined the kind of invincible phrase. They made it what it was. Invincible was an invincible league campaign. We can all admit if Rangers go and win this last game of the season, it's an invincible league campaign.
Of course it is.
I know it is.
There's no debate.
So that's a fact.
And
though.
maybe
That's what I don't
maybe
understand.
that's because Arsenal labelled it that. I don't know, but it's fact.
But then we've all said, it's not really that. It's not as big. It's one of those things that the media overhype big time. It's like the fucking whenever the Guard of Honour chat comes out. It's like it's not really worth
play
it.
to Livingston,
They just
you
go
know.
on and on about it. But I do find that a bit strange. That's the first one because
I know.
very
It's weird.
rare that happens and that no team will give them one.
Ranieri done it.
No, I back Celtic and not giving them one. I would fucking hate if
Aye,
Celtic
a
had done
derby.
that. But it's a bit strange. It doesn't bother me personally, but it's not very often that happens.
David Martindale's just a class act.
He's a Rangers man, isn't he?
Breath of
Obviously,
fresh air.
he's obviously a
No,
Rangers
he's
man.
Livingston, ultra.
Definitely a Rangers man.
Right, let's move on to midweek.
No, I think he's
sorry,
fair
not
against
midweek. Let's
everybody.
move on to the weekend.
Bro.
Because there is one match day left in the Scottish Premiership.
Still not talked about the Championship midweek, but anyway.
Oh well, I was going to bring it up after the Premiership. When
So we're going to the weekend and
I
coming
love
back.
there'll be
Right.
arguments
well,
during the shows.
I was just going to go get Premiership over and done with, and then we could have an in-depth conversation about
Over
the
and-
Championship.
In-depth conversation about the Championship.
Aye. What, we're not wanting in-depth? Well, that's what you've got your own fucking show for.
I know, but I'm filming our shit, so we don't do anything.
I see. Fucking hell, can I get in them? Right, last game of the season then. We'll start with Rangers and Aberdeen, because we finished off on that. We've basically said everyone will have to, but I mean, it's going to be a game that's to be celebrated. The trophy is going to Ibrox, the crowd will be gathering. It's an exciting day, David. You've waited a decade for this.
Goosebumps, mate.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
No for me.
And the drive down here had I'm feeling it on.
I'm feeling it. I feel
Aye.
like the sash or something.
No, I didn't have that one. That's tomorrow. No, really looking forward to it, man. It's been a decade of hurt. It's not been good. We've been playing down in the 3rd division, 2nd division. Yes, it was the fan base was extraordinary. Atmospheres were still great. The stadium was still full. But at the end of the day, the Pinnacle's winning the top league, and it's finally come into fruition. and I'm just absolutely buzzing for all the fans that were dedicated to Rangers when we went down the division, still buying the season tickets, still turning up in the thousands, tens of thousands, home and away. And yes, it's going to be a glorious day. The scenes are going to be impeccable.
Well, David, the way you've acted all season, you'll be doing there as well.
Yeah, no doubt, obviously.
Don't talk shit, man.
Oh, well, I love a day out.
His pal came down for the Islands, he's like,
don't.
Bleep that.
We'll keep that for off air. Don't.
You have it off the air, right. But,
it's absolutely not worth it.
Mate, I just want James Tavernier to go to the top of the stone. See now in the main stone.
With the third tier?
No, I'm talking about like outside with a harness on with a trophy.
Like Shawn Michaels at
a big zip line, mate. A big zip line down to the Ibrox Fitness Centre.
What's the name of the main road out there?
Paisley Road West.
Edmondson Drive?
Paisley Road West.
Paisley
Just
Road
right down
West.
to Paisley Road West.
That's what I left last year.
Stadium.
Just causing it, mate.
No, but Aberdeen, do they have any chances of ending this?
No, nothing to play for now. So I mean, I did think it would be an interesting dynamic had Aberdeen had something to play for. They don't. I can see Rangers winning this pretty emphatically if they go out with the right mindset, and I think they will, just based on.
You know who you're relying on in this game? Johnny Hayes.
Yeah.
Johnny Hayes has any allegiance to Celtic, he'll go out there and he'll make sure it is.
If he has any allegiance to Kieran Auld, he'll do it as well.
Aye, Kieran Auld, of course, the champ.
I was just bringing Celtic into the discussions, didn't you, man? Jesus Christ.
Aberdeen, in all seriousness, I think it's pretty pie in the sky to ask for anything from them for this game.
Listen, it's just
Rangers,
it's all about the title, man.
Could,
that day,
it could. It is, aye. But do you know have vibes around this game? And I always feel it in the last game of the season. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes you get beat because we've been beaten the last game of the season.
It's happened
But you always get the vibes. And you haven't been used to this for 10 years. That's not a slagging, right? You've not been used to it. But
That's a slagging.
But for the last 10 years, when we've been going into the final game of the season, I've always felt like a 5-6 never. You know that every single time it's been like you've gone into the stadium, the atmosphere's kind of set.
Gary Hooper scoring 5 and all that carry on.
Like you can just.
There's not going to be any fans there, though. You know what I mean?
So that kind of.
It will have a proper end of season feel.
Well, there won't be. To be fair, the fans will be outside.
Aye.
So they'll get the welcome that they deserve. Maybe that'll get them up for it. The last game when the fans turned up.
Well, if Steven Gerrard's going to drive over a police officer again.
I don't think he was driving, but that was funny. I seen somebody on Twitter tweet it, like the police's niece as well. Saying, "Oh, my uncle."
Uncle
I think he was a Hearts fan, so he was.
Oh, is he? Aye.
Hearts fan.
He's a police in Glasgow, of course he's a fucking Hearts fan. Aye.
Right, okay. Rangers then prediction against Aberdeen. David, start us off.
2-0.
2-0.
I'll just stick to it. 2-0, man. That's the tagline this year. Solid defensively, get the job done going forward. I'm hoping for that.
I was hoping you'd have went higher because that was what I said.
No, mate, I don't make a trying no make a cunt of myself like yourself, you know. As much anyway.
There's one flying back at me. Fireworks going now. I'm going to say.
Oh, the fireworks will be gone. By the way. By the way, what was this? We Are the People shout for you in the last show? I must have missed that.
When was that? What was that? Did you see this? What is that?
I missed that.
I must have been saying ironically.
It was. It was. I don't know.
I didn't even. I missed that.
I can't remember.
Chuckled.
Context is king.
Contents is king.
Contents?
Condense is king.
I'm going to go 3-0 Rangers.
Oh, you!
3-0
I love that for you.
Aye.
Not a clean sheet to add to it.
Anyway, right, Hibs and Celtic, Easter Road. This is like
the last dance. Back when it all started.
It's a game and nothing game.
Quite poetic.
It's back when it all started.
Quite poetic, isn't it? Like Scott Brown's last ever game for Celtic.
I think the journey of Rangers the last 10 years more poetic.
Honestly,
I
want Derek Riordan and Gary O'Connor.
How many trophies have Rangers won the last 10 years?
The band back together.
Plenty,
aye. Many have we won the history, young
couldn't
man?
quite get the Ramsden's Cup though. That was a step too far.
History? Is that no one as well?
Oh, there we go. There he spit the W out the pram. Oh, there we go.
I love the banter.
The Celtics coming out. His true colours are coming out.
Oh, right, anyway, Hibs Celtic. I mean, I honestly reckon Hibs could beat us here. I just see it in it.
Again, it's just nothing. It's a nothing game. Nothing to play for.
Can Celtic carry on the positivity from that win against St Johnstone?
It's going to be exactly the same as Steven Gerrard's last game for Liverpool. They're going to get beat 6-1 and Brown's going to score at the last minute. And the Hibs defenders are going to let Brown score like the Stoke defenders did for Gerrard that day. It's going to be hilarious.
There's going to be a wee cameraman and all that doing the photo shoot. Like, go again. Can we do
again, though, if you are a couple of fringe players at Hibs that might get a game, you're trying to put a seed of doubt in Jack Ross's mind about the cup final selection. These things are always interesting.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That was going to be my next point with the cup final on the horizon. Do Hibs rest players? Do they take the game a little bit lighter than they normally would? They have secured third place after all. Ultimately, it's a nothing game in terms of league competition, so Hibs really could kind of toy about a little bit.
The last time Hibs were third place, Scott Brown was there.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting
That's
statistic.
interesting.
2004, 5, I think
there you
maybe. So I think Hibs are gonna win this game. I think
so?
Yeah, I really do. I actually think Hibs I think their form in the last couple of months has gone under the radar a wee bit. I don't think we've given Hibs enough credit actually.
Boyle's
No,
been
I've
fine.
tried. I've tried.
Not even just Boyle. I mean, both strikers are back scoring after a wee period where neither of them were.
Jackson
Irvine, I was just going to come on to. I think he's been really, really good. The defence has done okay as well. I think, they've done well. And funnily enough, I find it really strange. We'll come on to the PFA Manager of the Year nominations, but I find it bizarre Jack Ross hasn't been nominated for that, because I think the job he's done this season is done. It's gone very much under the radar. Cup final, cup semi-final, third place, potentially a cup win on top of that. I think they've done a good job. And I just think that they've got more. I just struggle to see how Celtic are going to be up for this at all.
Brown.
I've seen that all year, but I think
the only chance that might have been a factor was the Old Firm game, and that didn't happen. But I just don't. They want this season to be over now.
Kennedy gave a little bit of time to the youngsters on Wednesday night.
How did Montgomery do?
Montgomery was fine. Okay, good.
Old Colin stopped playing the golf, started playing for Celtic.
Nothing, incredible. Nothing, but it wasn't bad. Montgomery was fine. Dembele came on, scored a goal.
He's got a start, surely.
Yeah, so that's what I was coming to you. Do you have any thoughts on the kind of keeping the youngsters in the team?
I've seen Dembele play at youth level a few times, like way above his level. It was at under 20s game when he was about 14.
Aye, the boy was in an advert with Cristiano Ronaldo, wasn't he, when he was like 16?
Listen, there's no doubting his ability. He's got a lot of ability. The fact that he hasn't been in squads and hasn't been getting minutes when everybody was talking about Celtic lack width, Celtic need a winger. There was one sitting there all season, and it just goes to show you that the decision making at Celtic this year has been atrocious.
Every time
because he's a good player. Every time I've seen him play, he's really good. He's direct. He's fearless. We've seen with Nathan Patterson coming into the Rangers team. We've seen with Josh Doig coming into the Hibs team. You give these young players an opportunity. Most of the time they take it because as I say, he's fearless, and he's got a lot of ability, bags of ability. And he scored his goal. I know Zlamal could have did a lot better, but it's his first goal. I'm glad he never came into the team, to be honest, obviously, because I think he could have done
a little bit of effort.
I think he could have done alright.
Listen, if you were Borna Barris's last game, you would not want to be playing up against him because it's an absolute nightmare.
Well, he's playing Forest, wasn't he? So
he was
better than Forest.
No, but I think Forest did alright in that game, though. To be fair, I think you saw a couple of occasions what Forest could do, and when your fullbacks don't like that, players running at them, it doesn't happen enough anymore.
Right, predictions for Hibs against Celtic.
2-0 Hibs.
2-0 Hibs. Wow, that was quick. Fucking hell.
I was going to say 3, but I thought about it
predictor in the East.
I'll go for a. There's been goals in these games, isn't there, this year? So
it's kind of got 2 each written all over it, isn't it?
It has got 2 each written all over
Max
it.
out the last minute. Again. The last dance.
You just think Celtic will give Hibs opportunities, and in turn Celtic might get opportunities as well, so I think there'll be goals in it. I'll go 2-0.
2-0. I'm going to go for 3-1
to Hibs.
To Celtic.
Oh, I thought you were going to go for your second team.
I'm going to my second team.
Aye.
Remember the old running
running
joke in the SPFL show where my left testicle supported Hibs?
Aye, it did. To be fair, you had a.
What's that?
What, left testicle?
Oh, the SPFL show. What's that?
R.I.P.
Never heard of that.
Oh, right.
Inferior product.
Oh, shots fired, mate.
What's that arsehole would be on that?
Well. Thanks.
That was nice.
Oh, sorry, boys.
No, your love for this man, wasn't it? That's the reason.
John McGinn. Right. No, I still fancy him. So.
Fancy him as a player or
as a player, aye.
Thank fuck, man.
What a backside on him.
What a backside on him.
He's got a backie and a half. Bunda.
Yeah, knows how to use it too.
Oh, aye, he does. Throws it back.
In a footballing sense, obviously.
John McGinn's never coming on
Get to that clip.
Yes, and we'll have a segment about his backside. Without a doubt.
Talk about his arse. Right, so Johnson and Livingston.
It's the most effective arse in world football. Never seen anyone else use it like he does.
Wayne Rooney had some arse.
Yeah, but did Rooney use it as well as McGinn does?
Chris Commons.
No.
McGinn fucking telling you.
Shut up. Don't put Commons in the same brackets.
But
he had an arse.
He had an arse.
Who else had an arse, man?
Chris Boyd.
Two guy.
Aye.
Old two guy who plays for Middlesbrough. Was it Blackburn?
Boyd wasn't he as hangway, but was he? Like,
didn't he use
stick for it? But in his later years,
he wasn't as thick with 2 C's as McGinn is.
He wasn't as thick as people thought.
Yeah.
Same with Rooney, but
I tell you what, Boyd's a good laugh. I'll tell you a story about we were at Celtic away, we were at Kelly away, and Boyd was warming up, and we were all getting at pelters, obviously. Fucking now the fans shouting this, that, next thing. And he was just like, he was loving it. He was laughing up. He was getting it right back, and he was loving the shit. I could laugh to be fair.
Rab Douglas did that when we played. Dunfermline played 4-4 away, and we were just giving Rab Douglas like stinking for 45 minutes. Half time, he just turned down and just gave it all back. Yeah, full time, you got a wee standing ovation as he went off. It was class.
St Johnstone against Livingston. Yeah, I'm going to go St Johnstone for this. I think I know they've just been battered 4-0, but they need to kind of pick me up going into the cup final. I think that Livingston, we've seen it before. St Johnstone against Livy. I think they can get the win here. Yeah. I don't think it'll be an entertaining game by any means, but once again, I think that St Johnstone need that sort of result heading to the cup final. I think the players and the team will understand. As you said, they might want to rest. They might want to make sure that they protect this team, wrap it in cotton wool, make sure they can go to a cup final and do this double. But the team who do play, the 11 that field, will know that they want a wee bit of momentum.
Yeah, I think St Johnstone will win it. It won't be pretty. I want to say 1-0 Saints.
I think Livy are going to win this one.
Really?
Because as you say, like, how many of the starters will they put in there? There might be a chance that they don't start their full strength team. There might be a chance he puts Lamal back in goals.
But he
was a 7-day loan, wasn't he? Surely 7 days has ran out. I don't know if they'll extend his contract, but now I'll go Livy. They had some opportunities versus Rangers. There was a boy that felt him, the 6-yarder man. He's just got to pass into the net and he hit the post. They had some opportunities and they did create, and I'd like to see that for Martindale because he's been brilliant for them.
End of the season, the high.
Aye.
Right, okay. Score predictions. I'm going 2-1 St Johnstone.
What did I say?
You said St
Whatever
Johnstone
I said
would
was what
win.
I'm sticking with.
You said St Johnstone would win, but I can't remember.
I gave a prediction, but I've forgotten what it was, so I'm not going to give another one in case it contradicts the first one.
1-0 to the Livingstones.
Before we move on from St Johnstone Hibs, the
St
cup.
Johnstone Livy.
I know, but we're not talking about St Johnstone.
Right.
The cup final allocation's out. 600 fucking tickets. You know they can have. I think they can have the same or more at Brecon for the playoff.
That is a shambles, isn't it?
It's a shit show.
And is it because of time differences there or something?
I think,
like that?
but I'm confused because I listened to Jason Leach and he said that they can have. If UEFA say yes, they can have fans, right?
It's up to Scottish government.
No, it's not. It's up to Glasgow City Council. They could apply to Glasgow City Council for a higher number, right. And then if they want higher than, there's a certain number that Glasgow City Council can allocate. Beyond that, they have to go to the government. So it might be down to UEFA this, I think.
From my knowledge, it was coming from the Scottish government that they're enforcing a 2 metre difference instead of a
but even that allows for a lot more than 600 people in Hampden.
A 2 metre, and also there's work getting done in the stadium.
Which but that's down to UEFA.
That's UEFA's.
Jason Leach said,
but there is work getting done there, so it's no.
But
UEFA can't really change that. Can
no,
they?
I know, but if it wasn't for Scott Hampden being at the Euros, they could have a much bigger crowd than 600.
Listen, 600 is just a non-starter.
But the point I was going to bring up on that is, it looks to there's a lot of talk amongst both fan bases is that the fans are not going to go, and they're going to give it.
The last I seen from Hibs was that they're going to ballot. There's a ballot.
Well, there is. The club are organising that, but a lot of talk on Hibs fans, even this morning.
Oh, right, I get you.
This is Hibs fans themselves and St Johnstone fans themselves saying that they quite like the idea of giving the tickets back to club employees and the players and families and all that carry on, because they've had their moments where they're able to watch it with their families, so let the players the same, which I think is fucking brilliant.
The last thing I seen was like Hibs saying they were going to give 60 tickets to team's family and stuff, and then give.
Well, even then, I think that's class.
So we're going to even
key line workers or something like that. NHS staff. I don't know.
But the fact that the fans have driven that, I think that's fantastic. Big fan of
that. I was disappointed to see the numbers. I was hoping that you at least get a couple of thousand in there, because you can. Like, there's no telling me they can't be. But here we are. We'll just have to wait and see as time goes on what happens. We'll go into the last sort of pointless game of the weekend, and that is St Mirren against Dundee United. I don't think we have to spend a great deal of time talking about this. But
are they not fighting for 7th?
But we said money.
Prize money here, boys.
Prize money, I suppose. Yeah, well, they are fighting for 7th.
They're both on 44?
No, 44 for St Mirren, 43 for Dundee United.
I don't know. You're right, it's very much a end of season feel to it. This one a little bit. Again, though, I don't know. I've always found these end of season games are really interesting because
goals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's different this year because normally players are on the beach at this point, but they're not, because they're not going to the beach this summer really. Yeah. So it's going to be a really interesting one. It's not going to be really interesting. What shit am I talking?
Why are you talking?
I'm just going to shut up.
I'm going back my man.
You can tell this is the end of the season show, can't you?
I'm just looking forward to it.
We're all mentally checked out.
I'm fucking mental. Exactly. I'm still buzzing.
When it comes to league football, I'm just done.
League football, I'm still
Obviously,
buzzing.
you're buzzing. Look at you, you've got that tomorrow. Let's just cut score predictions.
Fuck, it's Friday. I completely forgot.
I know, it's Friday.
We pint tonight.
We pint tonight.
You on tonight? We pint.
Huh?
We pint tonight.
I'm going to the gym.
You'll go to the
That's
gym,
fucking
man.
shite,
I'm
man.
maybe going to the gym as well, to be honest.
That's fucking shite as well. Could have been an impromptu TSF night out there.
Mate, I need to fucking put in week's notice for that.
Motherwell, Ross County then. Motherwell, Ross County. What am I talking about? St Mirren, Dundee United. Score predictions.
Who Ross County playing?
Well, we'll come on to that in a moment.
About who's it they're playing?
Ross County play Motherwell.
She's fine, thanks for asking.
Oh, yeah.
That's straight.
That's
It works better on Twitter.
I can't believe you've ruled with that.
The fakest laugh I've ever done.
Yeah, no. So,
Right,
So what
get
was-
the score prediction now?
I
So
don't even know what game we're talking about. I'm gonna
St
say-
Mirren and Dundee United.
2 each in the last
I was
2
going to
games.
say 2 each. Fuck's sake, 1-1.
I'm going 1-0 St Mirren.
3-2 to St Mirren.
1-0 St Mirren.
Wendy who?
Wendy who? Right. Okay, the two big games of the weekend, the two that matter most, will start with Motherwell and Ross County because a point would all but secure safety for Ross County. So, can they get the point, David?
No. Motherwell have been flying. I think Motherwell will win again.
That was very Neil Lennon-esque there.
No.
No.
The fact Motherwell went behind 2-0 as well versus Dundee United by some stretch.
Character.
I have no idea, and they bring it back. Devante Cole is a player. He's a player.
Flames.
What the fuck was
Flames,
that?
bro.
Come Flames, man.
Flames, dude. Know what I'm saying?
He's he's
Devante Cole he's good, isn't he?
yeah, he's fantastic. They're also
Do you think there's some genetics in there or something?
I
Do you
don't
think
know,
he's
but-
related to somebody?
Related
That's
to
four?
Joe Cole, Ashley Cole,
Aye.
all the Coles. Just
Well,
related
Andy
to them.
Cole.
Cartland, obviously. He took
Andy
loads of his
Cole,
attributes.
I think that's who he is related to, Andy Cole.
Is he actually
It's
related
his
to Andy?
boy, I'm sure.
Yes, I think
Is
it's
it?
Aye.
Actually, I didn't know
I
that.
swear to God, did you not know
that? I did not know
Anyway,
that.
what I was going to say, they are talking about his contract just now. They're in contract talks trying to keep him. So they'll be hoping to get
know.
that done because that would be a big coup for next season.
Listen, he's had a great season,
He
isn't he?
has,
They're
that's
talking
done very
about the Jet going to Aberdeen.
Ah,
Surely
aye.
Aberdeen should be looking at him.
He's that's Andy Cole, right?
I know.
Aye,
That's
right,
right, aye.
Fucking hell.
There you go.
Find
We
something
like
there,
bringing
okay.
there like people who are related to people. We had Pogba playing for
Pogba, I
Thistle.
played for
We
Thistle,
had
right, aye.
Hasselbank at St Mirren.
Oh,
Yeah, he was a
We had
player.
Seedorf at
By the way,
Motherwell.
we Nigel Hasselbank was a player. By the way, yeah. He was good.
Do you know who I'd like to see? Who's a son? I'd like to see Reina at Rangers.
I fucking right you would.
I
aye.
fucking
With
would.
Giovanni Reina.
Aye, fucking
Obviously,
right. He did very well to get him, I think.
Aye,
Oh,
aye,
mate,
do
I
a-
know.
do a job better,
Maybe a
aye.
loan deal or something? I don't know.
So I announced that Kieran McCluskey's just followed me on my Instagram.
Finally, after all this time.
Nice.
After all this time.
But do you know what?
Happy birthday to
Do you
him.
know what? Honestly, you want my honest opinion?
No.
I have a feeling. What? All right. I have a feeling Ross County will get a point. I think it'll be a draw. I think Ross County.
What's the goal difference here?
I know,
Well, it doesn't
that's
matter.
the
Ross
main
County.
thing.
If the goal difference is if Ross County lose, they're 11th, and if Kilmarnock win,
Kilmarnock win.
Kilmarnock's goal
Oh,
difference is
huge.
so far ahead by about 20 goals, 19 goals, I think actually, ahead of Ross County. But if Ross County
So the
get
gap
a
just
point,
now is 3 points.
it's 3 points.
Okay,
So if
wow.
Ross County get a point,
They're up.
that's it. They're
That's
fine.
fair.
They're secure. I honestly think they'll get a point against Motherwell this weekend.
And what's the point difference between Motherwell finishing 7th and 8th? If they
One
go
point-
7th?
if St Mirren were to win, or draw, and Motherwell were to lose,
I
Mirren went
think the
first,
Wales are winning. The Wales of the
will win.
Millers,
I
aye.
think they'll win.
I think they'll win, aye. They've been good.
Madness
They'll
at
win.
Motherwell have got more points than
Speaking of Motherwell, Alan Burrows, top man.
Livy
Big
Anson.
fan of him
Top
on
man,
this
Alan
show.
Burrows,
We're
aye.
top fan of him
Top
on this
man.
show, yeah.
Good
Listen,
man.
that's why probably I think they're going to win.
because
Because
of
of
Alan Burrows.
aye, well listen,
His
if it
presence
wasn't,
alone.
wasn't for all the work that fantastic man has done at that club, they would
Yeah.
be fucking miles off it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Fair play to him. What a
Fair
fella.
play. Good man.
Genuinely, but they're doing really, really good.
Yeah.
Community
Nice.
sense there, fan owned, like
The media, we always talk about this generally. The
See,
media
some-
team is amazing.
their media team's astonishing.
The
I mean,
investment
years
though,
ago I
like-
went down and one of the boys that was there was actually going to work for the SFA, I think, leaving, which
The money they
is
will
a
have spent,
promotion.
even they've got all them 4K cameras and stuff, they cost fucking
mate, they've
thousands.
got about a 6, 7, 8 man team. don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah,
Like,
absolutely. But
the
they
media
do
team's
it the right
amazing.
way as well. They get young
Rangers-
people in and
Aye.
like train them up, give them apprenticeships, and then into full time work at the club.
I think Rangers have been brilliant this season, but Motherwell before that, I just thought, well, their video work's still absolutely.
I mean that video about the season tickets, they
That
actually
was
was
marvellous.
fucking
Really
brilliant. It
good.
had
Just
me
watch-
going like I was a wee bit.
See watching
It was really good.
watching the quality of it, man. I was like,
Aye.
fucking
But
hell.
there was just everything about fans coming back. It got me
Aye.
go. I was fucking goosebumps.
Did you see that
Like,
drone
this is
shot, Man City, with the
Aye.
FPV drone?
Aye.
Fucking hell! I tweeted, give the drone pilot a winners medal.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. How we done that?
That
Like
was very good.
the FPV drone pilots are just something else. They wear the big goggles, man. They just go for it.
Aye.
Unreal.
Aye. So score prediction then: can Ross County secure
No, we've
the
said that already.
Premiership status?
No,
No.
but Hamilton are not. going down without a fight.
Yeah, it's going to be 8-0. They're going to
No,
just miss
but I
out.
think they might be able to get a point in the game. You never know.
Right, so score prediction will be
2-0 Motherwell.
2-0 Motherwell.
3-0 Motherwell.
I'm telling you, 2 each.
2 each.
Motherwell 2, Ross County 2.
Listen, could
got
be.
Got a feeling. I've got big Yogi. He's got to go right through them. And then the final game of the weekend, it is Hamilton against Kilmarnock. It is a must-win for Kilmarnock if they want the security of their place in the league.
Hamilton 1, Kilmarnock 1.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You got your 9-0 Hamilton?
There's a reason Hamilton.
You know
There's a
that?
reason Kelly have been down here all season long. I know Lafferty's great and all that, but he can't. Yeah, and he hasn't won them every week. Games every week. You know, he's done.
When you don't, when he's not getting opportunities, they're not doing anything.
I predicted Kilmarnock to win earlier in the show, so I've got to stay consistent. I'm still going to stick with a 2-1 Kilmarnock win.
You would fancy Kelly. You would fancy them, especially to get opportunities for the big man. But
saying that,
listen. I
8-0.
did say about 3 shows ago that Hamilton could climb Everest with their flip-flops, quoting obviously big.
They're going to have to climb.
Big chipper.
They're going to climb.
9-0.
They're going to have to climb Everest with no
9-0.
legs now. To be honest,
Could you imagine it's 9-0 and Kyle Lafferty scores in the 90th minute or something? Makes it 9-1. Fucking hell, man! Chipper'd have a meltdown, wouldn't he?
He would. Have a heart attack, wouldn't he?
Oh mate, I think I'd have a heart attack.
Everybody would have a heart attack.
What game is it? What is it? Just Rangers on TV this weekend?
Yep, that's it. It annoys me. Not just that you should be on the telly, obviously,
course,
right? But I think other games should be on the telly
well,
alongside it. Surely Scott Brown's last game should be on the telly.
Sky or just they don't.
Well, they've got to prepare themselves for the finale in the
Aye.
Premier League, considering 2 teams are already relegated and one's already won the league.
Premier League's a farmers league, innit?
Top 4, but
2-team league, 1-team league for years.
Well,
Innit?
not really.
yeah, it's a shite. Anyway, let's move on.
It's always one team that runs away.
Ah,
most
no,
of the
always
time.
aye. Somebody will be.
Well, I mean, there was one year Liverpool
season
Man
with
City,
Liverpool Man City,
but
but
apart from
usually
that,
it's one team.
and since United, City, in 13.
The magic of Leicester
yes.
winning the league can still never.
They
be
give you a
matched.
second league, but their league's always one team.
Even then, though, the fact nobody could get near Leicester City tells you I need to with that shower of shit down the road. Get out of the lot of them. Moving on.
Right. Now that's the Premiership done and dusted. When we come back here on Tuesday, when we come back here on Tuesday, I cannot wait. I'm just buzzing. That's it. It's done. It's finished.
It's Euro mode after that, innit?
I can just get done with this season. And do you know what? Next season, I can sit down with Eddie Howe and I can have a pint. And
Well, before we get there, next season we're
You
going
should let him finish because that did get clipped to fuck if John Kennedy gets a job.
Kennedy's not getting the job.
Oh, well, Gavin's
I've got an exclusive to
Gavin's-
announce. I've got an exclusive to announce.
What's that?
Journalistic exclusive on the show, right?
Oh my goodness.
I have it on good authority that Eddie Cow is moving closer to becoming Celtic manager. There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
I mean, can you believe that as an exclusive?
Hey, you
I
like to
know.
reveal your sources?
No, but it's an exclusive. I can confirm
Yes.
he's moving closer to the
Wow,
top.
that sounds like a Daily Record
Just saying.
headline, doesn't it?
I'm just saying. I mean, the record I've put that out about 5 times in the last week, so it's an exclusive. I have sources.
Moving closer.
No, brilliant. No, I can't wait to next season. Just be sitting there
But
fresh.
yeah, before next season, though, we're not done with this season yet.
Of course.
Because next week is going to have to be the TSF award show.
Better come in your fucking suit.
What the fuck's that?
Well, we're going to have to do our award show.
They're not player of the year.
Our player of the year, manager of the year, team of the year.
Right.
That's
They
going to
coming in
have to
suits. Actual.
be a show, by the way.
Let's do it. Are we charge $7.99? Look, Rangers.
That'd be good if we could find a wee
What's
venue
happening
for
with
that.
Celtic?
It'd
Are
be
they
good
getting a player of the
if
year?
you could find a venue, wouldn't it? Would be good.
Aye.
And actually get wee awards and stuff.
Celtic's player of the year. Have you seen it? Oh, you can tell they just wanted it under the carpet and done. They put it.
Is it
on,
done?
They put
Who
it
won?
on- Turnbull won player of the year. Turnbull won young player of the year.
Sora won most improved.
Ayer won.
That's Stephen Welsh.
Ayer won players player of the year. Sora won goal of the year, and
Fuck me.
I think that's it. innit?
Rangers are doing a live stream. They're doing
I mean,
an actual
no,
event.
ours was like before the St Johnstone
Aye.
game. Let's just get it done.
Seen Aberdeen done theirs. They announced theirs as well. Hedges.
So Fairmont did ours, but we did it kind of quietly as well. Just a wee thread into it, nothing special. I was happy with the winners though.
You shouldn't.
Within the
You shouldn't
Corinthian
have a
clause,
fucking. You should. If we have a season like Celtics this year, shouldn't have a fucking of the year awards.
I understand it for Celtic, but see, like the little clubs, I've seen at times on film have shocking seasons, but see for like the fans that do the sponsorship and stuff, going to meet the players at the award ceremony, it's a big day out for all
the
them.
biggest
Like,
part is
They pay a lot of money,
you're
don't they?
contractually obliged to do it because the sponsors that do all the awards like
Yeah.
Daffy Player of the Year, blah. You've got to do it. But if it wasn't so complicated, I would have canned the whole thing. I don't deserve a fucking Player of the Year
well,
awards.
sure, we need to do something next week. It'd be good if we can get some of the others in as well. We'll have
We
somewhere
can get
bigger
all
to
of
fill.
them.
Mate, we need to all be
We have
six,
to
get
get
about
all
sixes
you.
in.
I don't
Me
have a
sitting at the
fucking
end of the
suit.
table, like, right, let's go then. You know.
Mate, we'll get a free camera set up down the road.
Aye.
We'll do that.
We need to find somewhere to do it though.
I know.
Sure, there's a pub somewhere.
Surely we could find somewhere
Someday,
in the next week.
Someday a pub.
of a reasonable size that we can get a couple of cameras and a few tables, get a couple more of the boys in as well.
100%.
We could easily do this.
Aye.
Even if we just put a wee shout out on Twitter and got the retweets going, someone
There's
would do
got to be
it.
a pub. The time to have them.
Type T, yeah.
Time to have them. Do it. Right.
Western wins.
Just
The Bristol bar.
Listen, let's not exclude that one.
Local.
Right, Dunfermline, I'm so sorry. Dundee. I never honestly meant that. Dundee 3, Raith Rovers 0. As we kind of alluded to earlier in the show, it looks all but over.
Some Raith Rovers fans not happy with me on Twitter the other night. Fantastic stuff.
No wonder.
Loved it every minute of it. It was just one photo of Kevin Nisbet had them all greeting. It was fucking glorious.
But it looks finished. It looks finished now. Dundee. You're not so sure.
I'm not sure at all, by the way.
I mean, come on.
That's next done.
No.
I'll put my balls.
I saw Dundee.
I'll put my balls in the table.
I saw Dundee.
It's done.
I saw Dundee 3-0 up on Dunfermline with 10 minutes to play at Dens and end up 3 each. So there's. and Rovers scored goals.
3 each will be 6-3, but so.
What do you mean?
If it finishes 3 each in the next game, it will finish 6-3.
Well, no, but the point I'm making is Dundee are 3-0 up with 90 minutes to go.
Yes, I know, but Raith are.
Do you not think that? But Dundee have it in them to score?
Dundee will win. I think that the whole Charlie Adam thing is bizarre because he's been out of the team recently. He's not been playing.
But once they brought him back in, they started picking up results
Yeah,
again. I don't know why.
By the way,
Jordan McGee was playing in the midfield.
Jordan
Who scored as well.
But John McGee was playing that as well. But what a wand of a left peg, by the way.
Unreal.
Me.
See
That ball for the
pass
first goal, the first goal as well.
First,
Both of
the
them.
first and the second.
Oh, just
Put it in a
glorious.
plate.
And
I'd like to see them up for that reason. They've got Premiership quality. And
wonder how he would do next season, Charlie Adam.
I know, because that's what I was thinking last night watching the highlights. Legs wise, as he go to the legs, it looks like he's taking care of himself more than he has in his full career. He looks in good shape, but at the end of the day,
I'm not sure I'm having that. I don't think he looks fit enough.
Do you not think so?
No,
I think he looks more fit than he has in
No,
years.
that's the reason he's not been playing loads.
You've been serious?
Yeah, genuinely.
Mate, you need to pull up 2 pictures in because Charlie Adam now is looking trim.
He might look a bit better.
I'm not sure he's looking trim. I mean,
Mate,
I
he
can't
is.
exactly talk about it.
Mate, he is.
The couple of times I've watched Dundee this season, he's looked like he's struggling a bit. I'd say.
Why else wouldn't he have been playing?
What?
If it wasn't for fitness.
No, but there's a difference between fitness and your legs not being the same that they used to be and getting about the pitch.
Yeah,
I suppose so. I suppose.
I mean, look at the quality Stephen Davis has. He came back and he just wizarded that about. Charlie Adam can do
that together, kind of.
No, I don't.
No.
If you
I
put him in a
think it's a
midfield,
long career.
if you put him in a midfield 3, he'll be fine because he doesn't need to do much running. With the ball at his feet, he's just fantastic, and his set piece delivery is a joke.
How would you sum up Charlie Adams' time at Liverpool?
A waste.
Vintage. I mean, great years, absolutely great times. We had
Kenny and
top players like Paul Konchesky and Christian Poulsen and Alberto Aquilani, top players.
Charlie Adam at Blackpool was unreal.
That's why they signed him.
Of course it was. But see, when he was at Blackpool, I read a story that they were out all the time. They were hardly training. They were just out getting mad all the time. When you go to Liverpool, that's when the lifestyle needs to change.
Someone on Open Goal said that.
Listen, Charlie Adam with a left foot is as good as anybody. Unreal. All the goals he scored for Stoke and all that for the halfway line against Courtois. His left foot is unreal.
Charlie Adam went from playing
with
Gary,
overnight
from playing with Gary Taylor Fletcher to player.
To Steven Gerrard.
Nah.
But when he was at Blackpool, he looked more than good enough to play for Liverpool.
And there was
flashes at Liverpool where he did okay, but
mate, he went at the same time as Henderson. He was ahead of Henderson in terms of ability.
10 years ago.
And we're talking about ability, he still is ahead of Henderson.
Right, well, before we head...
Natural ability, Charlie Adams had got more ability than Jordan Henderson, but the difference is Jordan Henderson's worked on his game for years and years, and now the league's apart, world's apart, and will never be remembered in the same way.
Are we all predicting...
Talent, I think I'll agree with you.
Are we all predicting...
talent, that's what I'm saying.
Are we all predicting Dundee, Charlie Adams Dundee, to make it through to the
Jason Cummings Dundee.
Final there?
Yes,
Jordan McGee's Dundee, for sake.
Yes.
No, don't. He's been good, but come on.
Very good. Especially because he had a really, really bad injury and he came back like a couple of months before he he was expected to. And then we started playing midfield. He's centre half by trade and he's been very, very good. I think Dundee going to win.
He was at Falkirk.
He was at Hearts when Hearts went up the first time round.
Yep, that's right. I remember now. Okay. We've all predicted Dundee to go through. We'll leave the score predictions. Anything that you want to bring up?
Yes.
Bring up a couple of
More
things.
Championship news. Inverness have announced that John Robertson is going back to Inverness, but as sporting director.
So is that implying that Neil McCann's going to get the job?
Not necessarily,
because A couple of things I heard yesterday. Well, first of all, Inverness are inviting applications for the job, which if it was going to be Neil McCann, you would suggest they wouldn't be doing.
I don't know if
Thirdly, Neil McCann was offered the Falkirk job and turned it down, I'm led to believe. And thirdly, apparently he's got some sort of job where he's starting some sort of scouting agency or something. So apparently he's doing, I don't know. So we'll see what that is. But the John Robertson thing's interesting. He's obviously not wanting to come back to the stress and the hassle of full-time football management. It's a bit more of a backroom role for him. I think he'll do wonderful at that because he's a really talented guy. But Neil McCann, I think maybe if they'd have known this was the plan long term, maybe would have got Neil McCann, because I think Inverness fans would have been more than happy to keep him. But it's going to be interesting to see who gets that job there, because I can't see many real standouts for that I can think off the top of my head. They'll probably have to look down the leagues, but that's a struggle sometimes, but we'll see.
And finally, before we move on to the Twitter questions,
got more breaking news.
Oh, have you got more breaking
Chris
news?
Kane just signed a new 2-year deal with St Johnstone.
Play him, he's deserved it.
Deserved that deal, so yeah. Anyway, I think that's it.
Right, and I want to ask your opinion finally, what you think about your man.
Oh, by the way, look at they announced it. Kane with WWE, a 2-year contract. That's fucking super.
That's good,
That's brilliant. Anyway, your man, what you think about him?
Who are we talking about?
Your man.
Oh, okay, why are we talking about him?
You know, heard?
No.
He's
again?
been presented to Eddie Howe's a target.
Oh, is he?
Alright, so
Obviously.
so Celtic are considering summer moves for
Well, as long as they pay loads of money, then we can
for
get...
both Kevin Nisbet and Aaron Hickey.
How's that out? How is that out in the media?
Because
If
Celtic
that's
are-
if that is actually the case, why is that already
they're
out?
just an absolute shambles. They leak everything. Celtic.
If that's already leaked out and there's a club down south that want him, they would just go and get him.
Suits Hibs though. Puts the money
Of
up.
course it
It
does.
does, it suits
I
him.
bid that.
Apparently Aaron Hickey and Kevin Nisbet targets.
If you were
for
told that
Celtic.
Neil Lennon was looking to bring in Aaron Hickey and Kevin Nisbet in January, all Celtic fans would be raging with that.
Yeah.
And not Hickey, maybe Nisbet, but I like Nisbet. That's the thing. I don't think.
I mean, look at the rest.
This was a brilliant sign. If you're doing him as a like-for-like
Shite
replacement for Lee Griffiths, that's a fantastic signing.
No,
Fantastic signing.
he's not quite. It's also Eduardo at the same time.
No, but Nisbet
now being linked
continually
away
gets better every time he plays, and with better players you'll get
Also,
better.
Eduardo now being linked with Southampton as well. So there's the standard move for your big Celtic players.
But what else was I going to say? As long as they pay big money for him, so we can get a big sell on. I think it's something ridiculous, like 25%. We've got sell on.
Nice.
Man, we're going to cash it big time.
Is there a time limit on that? But
Don't think so. There's also, I think,
January.
no, I don't think there is a time limit on it, because they only paid like 200k for him, which is shit show. I think we could, like in the January we could have got about 750, but we banked on him making the playoffs and then fucking COVID hit.
Right, let's get cracking with the knacking. Let's move to what?
Clip that.
Clip that. Let's
Does
get
that
cracking
even
with
mean?
the
Get that
knacking.
in a t-shirt.
Get that in a t-shirt. Put that in a poster.
They'll rip the piss out of us on Twitter.
Hey, I'm pals with Tony.
I know, but it's a good laugh. Surely you can
Tony?
take that as a good laugh, no?
Tony for Full Tims.
Fuck knows.
Aye, good man. Shout out Tony. He was on the
Old
phone.
Tims, is that the one with the wee guy I always send the...
No. That's football daft. You're talking about wee guy.
No.
What are you
I'm
talking
talking about the wee CFC Mick.
Oh no, that's just us Tims. That's
That's
something completely different.
Too much
Don't put 4 Tims in the set. 4 Tims is an amazing podcast.
4 Tims had a dream.
4 Tims to start a podcast. Right,
Cool.
Twitter questions. Go. Squeaky door there for y'all.
I'm confused as to what this is about, this question.
Nice if you
Oh
picked
shit,
this.
I need to get
Sorry,
this
I've got a
Instagram
question up
on
here,
that.
but I don't really
Want me to
understand
read it?
what it's about. No, I can read it. Why do the Glasgow papers find it appropriate to link certain players to certain teams a day or two before a game? Is that to do with Nisbet, maybe?
No, it might be in this bit.
Because the guy's called Edinburgh FM, so maybe it is.
Probably
I'll
is
do
right
anything
now,
for
but-
clicks.
Ah, it's
That's
all
fine.
about-
But did you
You
see
don't understand
on
what
that
guys
sort of
want.
subject? Did you see Graham Alexander wasn't happy that Aberdeen announced Declan Gallagher's signing before the end of the season or before
People
the.
are petty about these things.
Three contracts.
He wasn't happy,
Exactly.
but he was made to look a bit stupid because Motherwell announced the signing of Declan Gallagher years ago before the end of the season. So.
Aye, and then as well, I think there was somebody who was complaining about it a while ago with somebody else as well, and I can't exactly remember who it's doing not, but they were sitting crying about it, and I was like, oh, peace, yeah, it happens.
Right, Lazar Aqua asks, Ryan, you going to be watching tomorrow?
What, say that again?
No, McCluskey's buffet.
Oh, McCluskey's buffet.
Ah, yeah.
Oh,
Looking
aye.
forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
Wee sausage roll or something. That'd be smashing, eh?
Oh, it's massive.
I'll be up your way, the way.
Vonnie's a good chef.
Aye.
Oh, good chef.
Aye. Don't
Right.
put rat poisoning on it, but
Right, Fatboy Beans asks, as usual, a cracking question. Would you rather be tied to a lamppost for 24 hours and just your pants, or be stuck at the top of a roller coaster where Graham Souness berating Paul Pogba for his earrings for 12 hours?
1,000,000% Graham Souness.
100%.
Obviously.
Lamppost.
Cunt's a legend.
I would pay to sit in his company to
so
listen
would
to
that.
slag Paul Pogba
Graham
for 12 hours.
Souness is an absolute legend.
I'm
on
not
a
sure.
man.
I'm not sure I'm giving him legend
Lamppost.
chalice, but
Lamppost. Lamppost.
More
entertainment.
Pogba deserves a slag
Mere
of performance.
entertainment.
Would you say that Souness's face though?
Mere
Would you fuck your
entertainment,
shite bag?
mere entertainment at a fucking lamppost than Graham Souness.
You're having a laugh.
Aye.
He's an absolute madman, Graham Souness. Graham Souness is still in this thing just now where he's having to go to Man United fans because they're not. He really thinks it's the reason they're all protesting because they're not successful, and he keeps going on about this. And Dave Jones gave him a bit back last night. I thought it was gonna. Dave Jones was gonna get it. To be honest,
Dave Jones a good laugh.
Well,
Next question.
Sorry. Fucking Magnus from fucking Mastermind here. So Aaron Smith asked a question that I think we've kind of answered anyway, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is it a fair assumption that Kelly should go into the playoff thinking they'll be safe? Their squad is much better than Dundee's.
No.
He says. I'm not sure.
I'm not having that now.
Seems too good for Dundee. He says. I'm not having that either.
I'm not having that.
I'm not having that. What else we got here? Matthew Duff has an interesting question. Which youngster from the SPFL is most likely to become world class? We'll come to that, back to that bit. But I'm going to rephrase it because I don't think any of them are going to become world class.
Callahan for Hamilton.
But which of these do you think is going to go on to have the best career? Lewis Ferguson, Josh Doig, Nathan Patterson, or David Turnbull?
David Turnbull. Easy.
I think it's easy.
I
agree with you, but I don't think
man.
it's easy.
I don't think it's easy. I think listen, Lewis
It's not easy,
Ferguson.
yeah.
Patterson's got a couple of years on him.
Lewis
as well.
Ferguson works like a horse. I think he'll go down south maybe, and he'll do well. Nathan Patterson, his start in a Rangers jersey has been as good as anybody's start.
Patterson and Doig are the unknowns, I think, because they have got very high ceilings, but they also could not. There's a lot of Turnbull's ability is undoubted. I think he'll get a big move and be fantastic. I don't think we know what we're going to get with Patterson and Doig yet. I think they're both fantastic young talents. They could go. Listen, look at fucking Andy Robertson. At this point in Andy Robertson's career, we're still at Queen's Park. So
I'd say it's out of Patterson and Turnbull. But if you go off most of the evidence,
I think that's
I think all four of them have got.
I think that's a bit unfair on Josh Doig, to be honest.
Aye.
Put him ahead of Patterson.
I think
Josh Doig.
I think Patterson's a better player than Josh Doig.
Maybe.
By some while, but no saying getting away for Doig has been good.
Right, next question. I think the camera might die in a minute.
McGinley asked, "Are Celtic still after a director of football?" I'll ask you since you know everything about Celtic.
I have been hearing a lot of the complaints of the fan forum yesterday. The fan forum.
Who fucking reads fans for? Oh, the actual
event.
Not the Huddle board.
Not Kerry Dale. I have been hearing a lot about the fan forum. From my understanding, the fan forum was a disaster. I don't really want to speak about it. The club is in a bit of a weird situation. We need to get our arse in gear. That's what I would say.
Who do you think's going to win the league title next season?
Sorry to answer.
I'll decide when. I'll decide at the start of next season. There's a summer to go.
When Celtic have done something.
In terms of winning the league next year, there's a whole summer to go. I'll decide then. I'll decide at the start of the season who I think will win the league.
Okay, mate.
But
honestly, man, I really hope he doesn't come and that gets close.
Oh my fucking god! They just announced him!
Keep that in! That needs to go in! That's well, mate!
Oh,
let's see.
It's done. Fucking fantastic.
Well, listen, the clips of you celebrating them won't be getting clipped, but that reaction is fucking golden, man.
I can't believe we got
Still
that
doing it in the
in
podcast.
Aye, it is! Shut up! Mate, asking him 1,000,000%.
Christ almighty.
Eddie Howe's done, mate.
It's been done for about 6 months. Is Peter Grant still going to be in there as assistant that you told me was done?
It doesn't look like it.
No.
But
anyway, move it on. Let's do a wee quiz.
That was embarrassing.
That was good.
No.
Shows how much you care.
No surprise I go on Twitter and seen nothing about it.
Why was my first reaction though to go, show me?
That's the whole point. It's not been announced, I'm winding them up.
Wow, I thought it was.
Well, it hasn't, I'm just talking shit.
Oh yes, that's even better!
That's what I'm saying.
That's even better! Sorry.
The
People
penny
hate when the
drops,
table
man.
gets hurt.
Oh, I got a hard time for that.
Mate, I was too busy celebrating him and his celebration. That's great. Anyway. That's fucking brilliant! Oh my god!
You've got to big yourself up for a quiz before we say it now.
Get it round you. You know. Is that all the Twitter questions?
Aye,
Instagram questions. We only have a few.
Up
man.
your game.
No,
I know,
it was still
it's Dundee Stadium.
podcast, huh?
Mark
it was
McNichol
like first
says,
to go.
Mark McNichol's the biggest one. He says, which strikers do you take to the Euros? We'll do a video on that, aren't we?
Nah,
So-
we'll do a video on that.
We'll do a video on that, so we'll
We're
keep-
going to be
we'll
in a
save
kilts
that.
for that, aren't we?
Right, okay, we're doing a wee quiz.
How many times have we managed to...
Erin Cuthbert, by the way, shout out. She's
Player.
going for the, was it quadruple? Chelsea in the Champions League final.
Player.
What a player. He's no bad
I
as
think
well.
it was the first time in history where
Yeah,
a women's team and the men's team could both win the Champions League
Yes.
final.
And we've got two Scots in it. We've got Erin Cuthbert and
Yes.
Billy
Also,
Gilmore.
another thing this week, 4 big games in the Premier League in England this week. Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and all 4 teams was a starting Scotsman.
That's brilliant,
But
isn't
one
it?
of them apparently is not
Look,
good enough to
where
make
are
the squad,
the
but it is what it is.
Anyway, before we start the quiz, just to quickly say...
You alright?
No.
No.
I'm actually quite upset. I'm actually quite annoyed, to be honest with you. I just don't want anything... I do that. Right, this is... How many times have we actually faced each other in the quiz? I don't think we've faced each other.
I've
that
never
much.
seen you play each
In
other.
a long time.
Been a long time, so I'm looking forward to this. This is
Alright.
good, this.
Right,
Let's
okay.
go. Let's do it.
Each question kind of correlates with each other, so it's kind of an even playing field here.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean?
I have a
Then-
feeling that the SD card might run out.
Hopefully it doesn't.
Well,
'cause
still
we
got the
need
audio
to-
if we need to. Let's get a shift on.
Right, who's first?
You can go first if you want. So it's just pick actually, you can pick.
I will go first.
Right, okay.
Fucking it.
First question for you, Ryan.
Right, okay.
Out of all the top goal scorers of Scotland who make the first page when you search it up,
For the national team.
no, sorry, in the Premier League this
Right.
season, Edwards on top with 18, Ayeti's all the way down in 21st with 5 goals. But who's the lowest minutes played per goal?
Lowest minutes
Yes.
played.
What, in the whole list?
In the whole list it makes it. The lowest minutes played per goal. So who's been most efficient with the time they've had?
Between
in
Ayeti
scoring
and
goals?
Edward.
Yes, so for basically first all the way down to like 21st.
Oofed. Oh, that's a tough one.
Use your noggin that you could get it.
Is it Jermaine Defoe?
It is not Jermaine.
Kyle Lafferty.
It is Kyle Lafferty.
Kyle
Kyle Lafferty, 8 goals in 8 games, a goal every 82 minutes. Closest to him, Lee Griffiths.
I was
A
going to
goal
actually, I was thinking
every 120 minutes with 6 goals, and Kemar Roof every 125 minutes with 12 goals.
It's a good
That's
return
really
considering how much
impressive.
he's played actually.
Aye, really for yourself now to go 1-0 up. I think this is a bit easier in terms.
Well,
of
I got
the-
his question right,
thing,
so
so you
that
need to
evens
give
it
me-
out, doesn't it?
I don't know if 3 players is a lot, right? But maybe change it to 2. Name 3 players who are top 5 in the assist charts in the Scottish Premier League
Fucking
this
me,
season.
that is
Give me
difficult.
2. Give me 2.
James Tavernier,
Right.
David Turnbull.
Is that your answer?
You want 3 or 2?
Well, you said it was
Well,
too
I'm
hard,
just
so give me 2.
out of the top 5.
Yes.
Right, so Tavernier, Turnbull.
There you go, I should give you 2.
Aye, we'll go with them 2.
Right, well, you're wrong.
Turnbull not in there.
Tavernier is in there, he's second with 9, but going back in order, Callum McGregor with 7,
Why
could have
don't
been
you
in
say
there.
Barisic?
Christie in there.
Kent with 8, Christie
Aye.
with 9, Tav with 9, and top is Hadji with 10.
Christie took a
So
lot
that's the 5 you could have got, young
Christie
man.
took a lot of
Hadji-
stick this season.
So's Hadji, and he's
Aye.
top.
Right, okay.
So it's 0-0.
No.
I quite like this one. Go to the stats of playmakerstats.com.
Oh, aye.
Right.
They DM'd us on Twitter this morning about something.
Well, let's get a
Maybe a wee
shout out. Let's get a
collaboration, maybe a wee
collab on the go.
collaboration,
Ryan, here's yours, mate.
Alright,
Right.
okay.
Can you name one of the top 5 smallest players in height in the SPL, sorry, Scottish Premier League.
5.
Oh.
Bonus point if you get the smallest.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, that's a cracking question.
Straight away, the
And
first
we've got a
player,
few of these, by the way,
the
with
first player
different
that comes to
attributes.
my mind is James Forrest, but I'm not going. I might not give him as an answer. James Forrest is wee. He's wee.
I've got one in my head,
Yeah,
but
I'll let you do something.
you need to give me the criteria. Do they need to have played in the Premier League this season? Is that like
Professional contract, basically.
right?
Well, it's,
Yeah.
it's just across all the leagues.
No,
No,
no.
Premiership.
Just
Premiership. Yes.
Premiership.
I've got one in my
Well, I
head.
played. Caramel could Dundee,
That's what I was going to say.
surely.
He's second, yep. So
Right,
you
so
get
that's-
that. You don't get the bonus
that's
point.
Fine, that's fine. Aye.
So we get
Who is shorts then?
what?
Who is it? The shorts.
It is Jason Holt of Livingston
Is it?
No fucking
Wow.
way.
at 164 centimetres,
Wow.
5'3".
Wow.
Yep.
That's mad.
Jason Holt is tiny, mate.
That's mad.
Small. Cannibal Dembele's 167 centimetres.
A year ago, Caramel Dembele would have been the shortest probably.
For reference, Cannibal Dembele's on another list. You can't get an answer for another question that's similar. Right?
Right, okay.
Okay, so a point for yourself.
Right, okay. Fine.
Other players on that's Matthew McDonald, Scott Robinson of Livingston.
Oh yeah.
Small as well. And
Robert.
Callum Waters of Kelly.
Nah.
Right, so yourself. Can you name one of the top 5 tallest players in the SPL? Bonus point for the tallest again.
That should be quite easy to get one of the tallest, you'd think.
Is it?
Do some thinking though. I want to jump right
Do you know
in.
who would have been in the
'Cause
shortest maybe?
I'll
Frimpong
give you a
when
hint.
he was still here maybe. Frimpong would have maybe
Mate,
been
he'd have been there.
Matt Macy. From Hibs.
Point for yourself. He's joint
6'7".
top, mate.
Joint top. Oh.
Joint top. 202 centimetres. Sorry, he's not Aaron Chapman. It's 203 centimetres. He'd had Ross Laidlaw, Ross County, Joe Lewis, Aberdeen, and Conor Hazard of Celtic.
See, I completely forgot about. I
Funnily
just
enough,
remembered I could
was-
use goalies there.
Funnily enough, I was looking at the wall for potential answers, and Ross Laidlaw is right there.
Aye.
Right there.
No, look at the ball then. That's
Cheating bastard.
You're a cheating bastard. I quite like these questions, so I've carried on with that theme for the third question, right?
Right, okay.
Can you name one of the top 5 heaviest players in the SPL? Again, bonus point.
Tempted to say fucking Lee Griffiths.
Bonus point for the...
Heaviest players.
Yes.
I mean, Albion Ayeti's packing some beef. Like,
Think about this. Yeah.
well, if only I can Fenwa played in Scotland.
He's
Heaviest.
lost a lot of it, have you seen
If
that?
only Boydie was still kicking a ball.
Christ. It's a good question.
I don't think there's a standout.
Aye, there's not. I can't think anybody, like, as you said, if Boydie was still playing, you'd be like, right there, boy, no offence. No offence.
It's got to be somebody who's strong as fuck. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, I'm just going
Give me an
to
answer.
put, Albion Ayeti.
John Obika.
Is Albion Ayeti in there?
Nowhere near it.
I don't
Because
know.
nowhere near it.
Oof.
Right, the top answer's Matt Macy that you've said, but I had to give you the bonus point for second, right? He's 96 kilograms. He's quite the heaviest. Declan Gallagher's second at 93
Well, you know
kilograms.
why he's second.
Oh, aye, yeah.
Oh.
Exactly.
I'm telling you.
My God, man.
If the rumours are to be believed,
3 kilograms itself.
You got a third leg.
Zlamal, he's in there because he's at St Johnstone. 92 kilograms. Christopher
He's
Ayer.
fucking built like the side of 5, for
He's
fuck's
tall though.
sake.
Christopher Ayer. 92
Ayer,
kilograms.
aye.
And CC Pepe of Livingston.
I should really went with
92
height.
kilograms.
I should have really fought with height.
You should have.
Ayeti looks
Right, so what's the
saucy.
scores on the doors here? Because I'm a little bit
One
confused.
all.
1-1, so this
Okay,
is for
nice.
you to go 2-1 up.
Right, to get
Can you
sorted.
name one of the top 5 lightest players in the SPL? Bonus point if you can
So
get
this is the
the
one where
lightest.
this is the
This
one
is
where
what
I
I can't
can't
say
use
Dembele.
Karamoto Dembele.
You cannot use Karamoto Dembele, who's third at 56 kilograms.
Okay then.
8 stone free.
Jason Holt.
No.
Fuck.
You jump in.
Hey, I'm going
You
to jump
jump in.
against. Can I say Mikey Johnson? Is he one?
He's not.
No.
So in 5th place we get Keegan Jacobs of Livingston, 59 kg. Matthew McDonald of Motherwell, 59. Karamoko, 56. Joint top that I give you the bonus point for, Martin Boyle,
Really?
53 kilograms. According to
But
their
he's like
stats.
2% body fat. You can just
8
tell.
stone free.
Jesus.
Can only
Strong
dream
with
of
it
that.
too, like.
Can only dream. And then top of that's Calvin Ramsey of Aberdeen. Must be a younger player,
Younger,
so I would
yeah.
have gave you. So it's still 1-1.
Right,
Right,
okay.
moving on to the championship round.
Oh, I'm going to make an ass of this. I can tell.
Me.
And I think Ryan might have got the.
See, my
Dunno.
championship
Right.
knowledge is very much over-egged. It's
Oh,
not
shit.
as good as people think it is.
We'll have to just keep going.
Right.
We've not got time
Audio
to change
only,
it.
audio only,
the
okay.
exclusive.
Out with Hearts, who has scored the most goals in the championship this season, Ryan?
See, logically, you want to go with second place Rafe Rovers.
Well, Dundee were
Well,
second
Dundee
place. so
was
there
Oh,
you go.
sorry. Well, I'm going to go Rafe Rovers then, because Rafe Rovers, I think, have scored an abundance of goals this season. I'm going to go Rafe.
Well, if you went logically, you would have been correct because it's Dundee
You bastard.
with 49. Hearts had 63 for reference. What do you say? We go ahead 2-1 here, David. Out with Hearts, who has conceded the least goals in the championship this season.
So this is tough because up until
I don't think
about
Rafe
a month until the end of the
They could've-
season, it was Dunfermline, but I don't think it was in the end because we took a hammer off Wraith that humped us. Then we got a clean sheet. No, I don't think it's Dunfermline.
So what's your question?
To go ahead, who's conceded the least out with Hearts? Hearts scored and
For
conceded
ages
the
it was
least, so-
Dunfermline, but that humping against Wraith Rovers knackered us. A couple of clean sheets after that. I'm going to go Dunfermline, fuck it.
Wrong.
Oh, good.
Inverness Caledonian Thistle.
Aye.
31 goals conceded. Hearts conceded 24.
Wow.
Final question.
Right.
Going back down the lower leagues now, a wee bit.
Right.
It's about their stadiums.
Oh.
Okay.
I hope I
Ryan.
like stadium question as well.
Which club plays their football at Stair Park Stadium?
I've got so many of his questions right today, it's not even fucking fair.
Stair Park.
Stair Park Stadium, mate. Yes. This is to go 2-1 up.
I fucking used to ask about German stadiums, haven't I? I fucking hope.
Wrong channel for that,
So
mate.
I think David might take this, by the way, if...
Stair Park, I'm going to give it an absolute guess because it's all you can do, and I'm going to go with. I'm not going at my screen.
Because if you get it, I'll just be...
I think you might get it, you know.
How?
Don't, just got a horrible feeling you're
Yeah,
gonna
go. What are you going to say?
And I'm not going to get it right. Why are you building up?
Go
I'm
with
going
the
to get it. I'm just going to say East Fife.
Wrong.
Stranraer.
Stranraer, mate.
Bastards.
Stranraer, right, for David then to win it. To go 2-1
Is it
up.
a stadium question?
Yes.
Fucking yes.
Which club plays their football at Lynx Park Stadium?
Montrose.
2-1 David.
It's not
wins
fair.
It.
He goes
He wins it.
to these
Mate, it was
places.
an
Never been
equal.
to it's Montrose.
You're
It was an
goes to
equal
these
playing
places.
field there. He's had similar questions. 2-1, but there is a tiebreaker. So
Oh, nothing.
Considering I've got like all of his questions right anyway.
Oh, nothing. Moan.
Why not?
Oh, yes.
right, okay.
We on the
First
buzzer on
answer.
this?
So David, you'll get to go. No, it's closest to.
Right,
Oh, so I'll get to go first.
You'll get to go
'cause I was-
first, mate. Right. How many hat-tricks combined has Henrik Larsson and Chris Boyd scored?
I don't like these questions because they're just guesses always, aren't they? What, like...
In the league. In the leagues.
How many combined have they scored?
How many combined have they scored?
Henrik Larsson and Chris Boyd.
Take yourself off that laptop, by
Just
the
on
way.
Twitter, mate. I'm
I
just.
don't care.
I'm going to say 15.
15, okay.
15 combined hat-tricks the whole career.
No, just
in the Scottish Premiership.
Yeah.
That's too high.
You've said what?
15, I think that might be too high.
Combined hat-tricks.
Combined hat-tricks. Boyd and Larsson.
I'm going to go for like 36.
Flat it, you on.
David takes the one here.
What
was
The
it?
answer was 19.
Nah,
Henrik
just-
Larsson
I thought
with
it was
12.
36 hat-tricks.
Well, that's what divided that by 2.
Wow. Henrik Larsson, 12, and Chris Boyd, 7.
That's 108 goals.
That's a full
Aye,
season
but
of
so what's
hat-tricks.
36 divided by 2?
What's, I don't know, 17?
Aye, but still, it's like...
No, 17, 15, 18.
18 hat-tricks each, isn't
That's
that?
quite hard.
That's
though.
quite a lot of
That's
hat-tricks.
hard.
Aye, but Henrik scored for fun.
There was like 3 or 4 other players. I think John Hartson had 5. And
Of course, you'll have a few, no?
he wasn't there.
Oh,
In my man.
right,
So
okay.
aye.
Oh,
So it
probably
was,
is from the SPL.
Stokes and somebody else who had 4 hat-tricks.
Right,
Super-
well,
super
that's going
qualified.
to have to be us anyway. Lads, thanks very much for coming. Me and David are going to rush to a class, so...
Oh, yeah, fucker, it started.
Aye, so like and subscribe, follow on Spotify. See you all next time.
See you later.